you're a typical Florida homeowner who likes to keep your lawn lush and green, you're probably wasting a lot of water and money. Pinellas County cleans about 29 million gallons of wastewater every day, making it safe for watering lawns and gardens. But that's still not nearly enough for everyone who uses it, especially in times of drought. What if I told you you could radically reduce your water usage while still maintaining a thriving Florida landscape? Today on Discovering Pinellas, we'll talk about how to get creative in conserving water without turning your slice of paradise into a desert wasteland. Florida has an abundance of natural springs, rivers, and other water sources. But even though technology allows us to reuse a lot of it, water is not an infinite resource. The good news is you can actually cultivate a healthier, hardier lawn with a lot less water if you get to know your landscape a little bit better. We're going to talk to Doris Heitzman from the Florida Friendly Landscape Program to find out how. Doris, tell me about this property we're standing in front of.
This property is very unique. The homeowners, they started out with having the front was lawn, and they incorporated more plants and also decided to use water only as they really need it.
When you look at the Tampa Bay area in general and Pinellas County, you're hearing a lot about drought, you're hearing a lot about water restrictions. Why is it important, especially right now, to be conscious of the way you're using water and try to conserve as much as possible?
Water is a limited resource, and we really have to be careful with how we are using it and when we are using it, and also reducing the runoff of this water to protect our water resources.
What are, 3 easy things people can do to start changing their watering habits in ways that are going to make their lawn or landscape healthier?
The first thing really is technical, practical. Check out your watering days. When are you allowed to water? Then check your watering days on your irrigation time clock. Is it set correctly? And then you want to look at the duration. How long is it watering? It doesn't need as much water as you think. So if you apply about 3/4 of an inch per irrigation cycle, that's more than efficient to get your landscape a good drink, so to speak. Number 2 would be to make sure your landscape is watered efficiently, that the nozzles are clean, the heads are directed towards the landscape, not the pavement, the hard surfaces. And number 3 is to observe your landscape. Really only water is needed. If the landscape doesn't need water, don't water it.
So a lot of folks feel like if they cut down on their water use or they follow the watering days, their lawn won't get enough water, their garden won't get enough water. What are the actual signs that your lawn or garden are stressed and are really in a state of drought?
There's some easy observations that you can make. For the turf grass, it really is if you step on it and it doesn't immediately come up your footstep, or the leaf blades fold, or the color of the grass turns into a grayish, bluish color. These are signs that the landscape is ready for irrigation. The most important thing is that the landscape develops a deep root system. Deep roots make the landscape more drought resistant, also more pest resistant. But if you want to measure the rain, which would be really an easy step to find out how much water was applied, use a simple rain gauge. They're available in all shapes and sizes, but they show you, let's say it had rained 1/2 inch to 1 inch, you don't need to turn your irrigation system on. The other tool is a simple rain sensor that you can install on your roof line or on your fence, and that will also turn your irrigation system off depending how you have it set, let's say on 3/4 of an inch, and it turns your system off if there wasn't sufficient rain applied.
One critical way Pinellas County conserves our fresh water is by reusing or reclaiming wastewater. The county operates 2 water reclamation plants that turn this water into a resource you can safely reuse here. But as our county has grown over the years and more customers have started overusing reclaimed water, even this renewable resource is becoming strained. I'm going to the South Cross Water Reclamation Plant to talk to Charles Richards about a new metering system that's designed to help you better monitor your water use. This plant and the county at large produces a massive amount of reclaimed water every day. With so much reclaimed water coming through the county, why are there restrictions on how much people can use?
Well, reclaim is a limited resource. It's very great for your landscape and for your lawns and things of that nature, but it takes about 3.5 homes to produce enough reclaimed water for 20,000 gallons for 1 month for one house. So with it taking that many homes to produce enough reclaim for one house, it becomes a very limited resource.
Now, I understand that the county is starting to roll out a metering system for reclaimed water. Can you tell me about that and what the goal is?
Yeah. Before, when we didn't meter the reclaim, people didn't know how much water that they used. Now that we're metering reclaim, we're seeing some customers using 160, 170, 180,000 gallons of water throughout the county. It's not in just certain areas. And that's a lot of water. I would not want to pay that bill. Pinellas County is moving to a digital technology with our meters. We call it AMI. It's not only for potable water, but it's for reclaimed water. We're starting to meter every reclaim account out there of customers that used it. With this technology, the customers can log on to our customer service portal, register their account, and they'll be able to see how much water they're using in their home on a daily basis and how much they're using in their irrigation system. Hopefully it'll help save some of the resources that we have, not only the potable water, but especially on the reclaimed water as well.
For some homeowners, the solution to the water dilemma is to simply re-envision what a healthy Florida landscape looks like. Jerry Fletcher made the decision to go native on his yard in Largo, both to save water and a whole lot of time. Jerry, tell me a little bit about your property and sort of the history of what you've been doing with your landscape here.
The property is, we've got just a little over 7/10 of an acre. We built a house in 2011. And we did our normal landscaping that you would do for every new home. But we had this beautiful irrigation system with the big pop-up sprinklers, and everything would go off, and we had a wonderful time. And then as we started thinking about it, we started changing a little bit more. And we decided, okay, we wanted to go more to a native Florida, and more specifically native to our county, as far as what can we do that works in our zone for planting.
Could you give us kind of a sense of what, the difference in water usage when you're going, more Florida native and, changing out the way that you're irrigating?
We've probably cut our water down by 75%. And knowing that, yes, we have a lot of drip irrigation going on, but that takes so little, and it's so much more of a precision watering as opposed to just spraying over. It's nice to be able to know that after these plants are established, I can turn off the irrigation and they're perfectly fine. Matter of fact, they probably do better when I do turn off the irrigation because I'm not overwatering, which we have a nasty tendency to.
Why do you feel like this is a easier and maybe more attractive way to go in terms of your own landscape?
I hate weeding. Mowed yard as a kid like everybody else, and it's just like, it's not one of my favorite things to do. But when you just look at how can we make it simpler on us, the better for the environment. By going Florida friendly, you can reduce the amount of time that you have to spend in the yard because if you reduce your turf grass, you don't have to mow as much. When you do Florida native gardening in beds, it is easier for them to live on and in our environment. You can put them on timers and they work great. So you can really reduce the amount of time that you're out there. You don't have to be mowing, you don't have to be weeding from all the things from overwatering. And you have more time to enjoy what's there and then go discover something else.
If you find yourself fretting over all the time and money it takes to keep your turf green, maybe it's time for a change. You can find information on how to conserve water and create a landscape that will thrive here in Florida on this website. Your tropical paradise might just take less time and water than you thought. Thanks for joining me today.